My name is Stephanie Walsh. I am standing outside of Coach with Keaton Simons. We just went to the Martin Lawrence Gallery for the premiere.
For a book release,
Book
the
release.
release for the book The Noise Beneath the Apple.
Can we talk a little bit about that? How did you get involved with The
Absolutely.
Noise Beneath the Apple?
Well, I have known Heather Jacks, who's behind the whole thing, for many years. And when she first came up with the project, she told me about it, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And then my darling Laura Goldfarb is doing the PR for the whole thing, and she's been involved. And I was actually kind of feeling sad. I was like, why can't I be involved? And then Heather came up with an idea to gather as many of the musicians from the book as possible and have them record a version of Billy Joel's New York State of Mind, and to have me produce and arrange it. And that's why I'm here right now.
Is that compilation of New York State of Mind going to be available for purchase, or is that only with the book?
You know, that's actually a good question. I think it'll be available on its own. Was that later this summer? I've still got some mixing to do at the moment, but I cannot wait to dig in, because really it exceeded all my expectations, and I think it has the potential to really kind of change the way that people see street music and street musicians, because everyone came in and just killed it, just super pro.
So the book it features 30 artists.
More, actually. There were about 30, or a little over 30, that were involved in the New York State of Mind thing, but the book itself, I think, is what, 45 or something like that? I don't even know exactly. I'm not 100% sure, but a lot.
And they're all local New York City street performers.
Yes, well, they're all people who either are currently performing on the New York City streets or in the New York City subways, or people who have in the past done that. There's a great artist named Jason Adamo, the Jason Adamo Band. They're out of Raleigh, North Carolina, but Jason and Heather met when he was busking in the New York City subways.
Wow. So that's awesome. And it's really exciting that you're part of that. You just released your sophomore album.
That's right.
And it's called Beautiful Pain.
Yes.
Why Beautiful Pain? What is that about?
Well, Beautiful Pain in general, as a concept, is something that I've just been fascinated with since I was little, and been trying to figure out a way to put it into words and something, somehow poeticize it, as it were. And it really is, to me, the feeling of being so overwhelmed by beauty and love that it hurts, and sometimes it's overwhelmingly painful. I mean, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I think everyone can kind of relate to it in one way or another. Whether you see something beautiful, experiencing a loving relationship, just amazing moments in life and so on. And I wrote a song called Beautiful Pain, and I decided to name the album and the song after that because of that precise feeling.
And you did a music video for that song.
I did, I sure did.
Can we talk about working on that video? I saw some big names thrown in there.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, we had some cool people. It was directed by my good friend Nick Spanos, executive produced by David Duchovny, who's actually one of my partners in my record label that I created and put this record out on, Best Revenge Records. And Nicole Fox, America's Next Top Model winner, was in the video. A lot of great cameos in the video, tons of amazing people, amazing images, and I love it. The video right now has like 36,000 views and counting on YouTube, and it's been up for a month and a week or something like that. So.
That's awesome. Did you come up with the treatment for the video, or is that...
I was a big part of developing the treatment for the video. I talked very closely with Nick about it, and with David, and and with everyone involved. Laura and I talked about concept. I talked about concept with my management. I opened it up to a lot of people, but ultimately the final vision was really Nick's and mine.
And what were we trying to
achieve with it?
Yeah.
Well, with the video, I wanted to create the feeling of Beautiful Pain. I wanted to somehow embody it visually. I wanted to incorporate some performance elements, and I also wanted to kind of ask the question of, what does love look like to you? There's so many different ways of experiencing love. It's like I believe the Inuits have 50 different words for snow, and because it's something that's such an ingrained part of your culture. And for me, I've always found that the way that I love each person is completely individual. I don't have like a categories of love. It's person by person. And so I asked the question in that video, what does love look like? And we've got all different kinds of people, groups of people, couples, quadruples, and so on.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about your sound now. Have you evolved Have you evolved your style, or has it
Yeah.
kind of been the same general?
No, I feel like my style's evolved. I mean, I allow my style to evolve as naturally as possible. It evolves with me as I evolve, and I'm very determined to continuously grow and evolve and expand myself. And hopefully, and I feel that it does follow suit. My music does follow suit.
How do you feel about being compared to people like Jason Mraz and Gavin DeGraw? And
I feel great. Both those guys happen to be good friends of mine. I have a co-write on the record with Jason Mraz, and Gavin's one of my dear friends and been incredibly supportive, and I'm pleased to be compared to those guys because I think they're at the top of their game. I think they're amazingly talented, and I love it. I mean, I think the thing that's interesting is I think a lot of people think that we all are kind of have a direct influence on each other musically, and to me the thing that's so fascinating is that we've all arrived in a similar genre, but none of us knew each other. I mean, or at least I didn't grow up with Jason, I didn't grow up with Gavin, but what we grew up loving and listening to the same music and ended up in such a similar place, and that's what's so magical about it, is that our music isn't directly influenced by each other's, but we all really fit together. And now at this point, I find their music to be tremendously inspiring, and I love watching them perform, and I love seeing how far they can take it. It helps to push me, and I think we all kind of keep each other propelling forward.
Who are some of the artists that you grew up listening to?
I'm a huge Beatles fan. Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Van Morrison, Ray Charles, Sam Cooke, a lot of old blues stuff, Robert Johnson, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. I love B.B. King. Joni Mitchell, Jimi Hendrix, C. Ray Vaughan.
Awesome.
Lots.
All good choices, I think.
Thank you very much. And then I ended up in college. I ended up with a degree in ethnomusicology, which is the study of world music. And so,
Wow.
Throughout my life, I've listened to and studied music from all over the world, with specific focuses in Indonesian gamelan music, and other. Because my first entree into world music was through Southeast Asian music. So I studied a lot of Indonesian music, Indian music, Chinese, etc. And then I I really got into African music, West African music specifically, Ali Farka Touré and Hamza El Din and all those guys. you know those guys.
Oh yeah, totally. I listen to them all the time. Now I noticed on your page that you had an an EP in 2006.
6, yeah.
And then 2008 was the first LP.
That's right. That's correct.
And now this is 2013.
Yeah.
What was going on?
Why so long? Well, that's absolutely a good question, and the answer is that for me, I've been making music steadily, and it hasn't been that long since I've released things. I've released songs. I've had songs placed, prominently and so on. But for me, I always want the music that I release to have an audience, to have a target. And so it's very easy to just kind of release something into the ethos, and it goes nowhere and it does nothing and nobody knows about it, and it comes and goes. And to me, I love my music too much to just throw it out there and let it fall, I really want to get behind it, and I really want to give it the love and care that I feel it deserves. My very first release was an EP, and I was signed to Maverick Records, which was a Warner label at the time and no longer exists. I then put out my second EP. I was supposed to put out a full record on Maverick, but they unfortunately collapsed before my record came out. That tied me up a lot too, because there were a lot of really unfortunate contractual obstacles there for me. They wouldn't give me my music back, basically, and it really set me back for years. So then I ended up releasing my second EP in 2006 on a very cool independent label called Beverly Martell. Then I got signed to CBS Records. I released my first full-length Can You Hear Me on CBS, and then CBS disappeared, and I was on my own again and trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do? I'm talking to different labels, trying to figure out how am I going to put this out, and then the world in general, and especially the world of music and entertainment, is just constantly evolving and changing, and it's going more and more into the hands of the artist and into the hands of the listener. People can choose now to go on iTunes and go, I don't want that whole record, I just want that song. And to me, I think that's great, because it lights a fire under the booty of the musician and the writer to come up with better stuff. If you make an album full of songs that people want to listen to, they will buy the whole album because it's got to be that good. And so I love that. I relish in that. So but the reason why is, as I explained before, it's when I release music, I really want it to have the love and care behind it that it needs. But I have vowed, and I will continue to vow, not to let anywhere near that much time pass before releasing new music. I'm already writing and recording new stuff. I've got plans to release a live album. I've got a lot of extra bonus material from the album that's out now that I hope to release in kind of expanded editions of this album, and singles and EPs and whatever comes,
Yeah, that sounds really good. Do you think that, like, this day and age with music, you've been saying how it evolves, and I totally agree with you with, like, the listeners have more of a choice. Things like Kickstarter and like artists who are completely independent just going out there. What do you think about that kind of stuff?
I think it's great. I did a Pledge Music campaign that actually funded my live album. And it's brilliant. I mean, it puts the control in the hands of the people. It's no longer the kind of ivory tower calling all the shots. And that's the future is in the hands of the individual. It's not, it's only going to be so long when people blindly listen to somebody that they can't see or contact, and especially with more contact online and stuff like that. That's one of the things that I love. The reason that I do this, the reason that I perform music and that I make records to sell and to give to people, is because I want to connect with people. If I didn't want that part, then I would be content to just make music and nobody hears it, and that's fine, because I would make, even if I knew that nobody would ever hear any of my music ever again, I would continue to make music as much as I do now. I just wouldn't sell it.
You've been featured on dozens of shows.
Yeah, a lot of shows.
Where would you like to have your music featured? Like, what shows haven't?
No, God, what shows haven't? Well, I mean, like, I'm a fan of certain shows. So, like, I really like Dexter and stuff like that. So I want to. Are you a Dexter guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
So excited.
I love that show. No, there are tons of shows, and one of the things that I would really love to do, and I actually had this idea when I was signed to CBS, and unfortunately never came to fruit just because there's a lot of logistics involved.
CBS.
But I've really wanted to release a new song, have a song that's prominently featured in each episode of a new series, and then after the show airs, you have an ad says, tonight's episode featured blah, blah, blah by Keaton Simons. Go on to iTunes or wherever it may be and download it, and then you can go and grab it, and then the next episode, and you can go grab it, etc., etc. And then finally, at the finale, you then have the entire album available, plus a bunch of bonus material, some behind the scenes, and this is something I've been wanting to do for years. So if anybody's out there who wants to do that with me, I'm your man, because I'm happy to do it.
Well, I know that, like, Grey's Anatomy kind of started doing that.
They did, absolutely.
They show you at the bottom of the...
How to Save a Life. That's how I found that song.
Right, exactly. And a lot of my friends have been featured on Grey's Anatomy. I never had a song on Grey's, but I did have a song on Private Practice, which is a spinoff from Grey's. And it was actually a really amazing placement experience. For somebody like me who's had a lot of songs placed on television, this one, the episode of the show was titled after the song. The song was written into the show. So it was a really, really amazing experience.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Thanks.
So what's up next? You just played at the Bitter End last night.
I did indeed.
Are you touring?
I'm doing some spot dates right now. I've got some cool stuff coming up. When is this airing? So I'm not talking about things that happened a month ago.
I might be able to have it up this weekend.
Oh, really? Okay, that's fast.
I'll play it on the show next Wednesday. So actually, I should probably make.
Well, then I can just talk about it. Start talking about it now. I have a show. Well, this one we might miss, but I've got a show coming up in Venice, the Venice Art Walk that I'm doing on May 19th.
Venice,
no, Venice, California.
Okay.
Venice Beach.
I was like, okay.
I know.
Same
that would
thing.
be great, right? Very similar. That's on May 19th. That's going to be awesome. And then I've got a show at Jammin' Java in Vienna, Virginia, just outside of DC, one of my favorite places to play, June 2nd. Then I will be at the Down the Hatch Festival, which my dear, dear friend Pat McGee created and puts on. There are going to be an insane amount of brilliant artists there. I highly recommend that. That is from June 6th through the 8th, is that correct? From June 6th through the 8th in Outer Banks, North Carolina. And it's an amazing festival on the beach. You know, music all hours, hang, food. It's just great.
Sounds like my kind of thing.
Right? It's amazing. Then I'm going to be doing 2 shows with Jason Castro and Ryan Cabrini. And then Teaneck, New Jersey on June 9th at Mexicali Live. And then June 10th in New York City at...
Same lineup?
Same lineup.
Okay, then I'll come to
at Studio Webster Hall.
That's the downstairs.
Yes, and that's going to be awesome.
Oh,
And then do we have anything else booked right now? We don't have anything else specific booked right now, but I'm already told about Jam and Java. That's the 2nd, right? Okay. And but I plan to do as much touring as humanly possible because that's a great love of mine.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to kind of weave it all together. So as soon as I can, I'll be out there. I've played. I love to tour, and I tour as much as I can. I've played in 49 out of 50 states. The only state I haven't played in is Alaska.
I know some people up there. So
do you? Let's go. Let's do a show. But I promise I will be everywhere I can get. So please come out and hang out because that helps. It helps to make sure that I can come back.
Where can they find you on the internet?
Find me KeatonSimons.com, KeatonSimons.com. My new website was just redone and I'm very happy with it. You can also find me on Facebook, Facebook.com/KeatonSimonsMusic. Twitter, I'm at Keaton Simons. Instagram at Keaton Simons. Go on to Google and type my name in and do whatever you want. I'm there and I check it all. I look at everything and I do as much as I possibly can. Right? You get it, right? You know, baby. Of course we do. Come on.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Keaton, for your time.
Thank you so much. I
appreciate it. This was an awesome night. We have video of your performance, your impromptu performance.
Very impromptu.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Go grab the record. iTunes, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Best Buy, all over the place. Where else?
Spotify.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Oh, yeah. Spotify
is amazing.
Pandora. Listen to, call in your local radio stations, too, because Beautiful Pain, the single, they're spinning it all over the country, and I could not be happier.
It's awesome. Well, let's let you get on with your evening.
Thank you, my dear. You're wonderful. Oh, it's lovely.